What's up,
Hello.
guys?
How's it going?
Welcome back to KYTL. We have Will today instead of Jack because Jack is swamped at work.
Hello, this is Will Bentz standing in for
yes.
Jack Tiggleman.
Perfect.
Yes.
You know, Will, there was rumors out there on the internet that you wouldn't be on Keep Your Torch Lit.
I know. I heard some folks saying things like Will was so devastated from Survivor Michigan. I think he's really separated himself and moved on. But, you know, he's doing all right for himself.
He's doing all right for himself. Okay. This is good to know. And what is Will doing these days?
Let's see. What is Will doing these days? Actually, I think when season 3 was airing and I did my exit interview, I kind of mentioned that I was working for NASA and trying to fly airplanes. So I kept up with both of those things. I have the same job that hasn't changed. I work at Goddard Space Flight Center I'm working on a mission right now called OSAM-1, which will be the one of the first autonomous rendezvous and servicing with a spacecraft that's not designed to be serviced, called Landsat 7. So we're basically going to fly a little gas pump up to an old spaceship and fill it up with gas using a lot of robotic algorithms. So that's pretty fun stuff.
Oh.
And I got my instrument rating for flying, and that's pretty much all I've been up to, just hanging out, doing the Lord's work.
Dang, that's really cool. Your job sounds way cooler than mine.
What are you doing here?
I'm in finance.
Okay, sick. That's good though, because I don't have any money. I spend it all, so I wish I had some of your skills.
Oh,
Spend it on things like skiing, right, Will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam and I and Eliza were just on a ski trip in Colorado. That was pretty fun, shredding that gnar. I got my ass kicked really badly on a double black diamond, and it was really humiliating.
You guys do double blacks?
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to, but I went skiing with my old college roommate from Maryland. So I don't know if any Survivor Maryland fans out there or people who played Survivor Maryland, maybe you know Ray Bounds. Anyway, that guy's a wild skier, and he was like dragging me onto the double blacks on the first day, and I'm like, I haven't gone in a year. I really should warm up first. And he's like, no, you got this, Bence. And I just completely fucking ate shit down that mountain.
Just like rolled down.
More like standing up while sinking in quicksand and trying to put your skis back on.
That's always the worst when the skis go like 2 different directions when you fall, and you're just like, it's very humbling.
It is when you're like, I don't want to do a split. I never intended to learn how to do a split.
Exactly. I saw people were like, I guess people didn't realize that you went to U Maryland, which is like the first college Survivor, like the founding place for college Survivor.
It's crazy. It's like I knew that was going on when I was there. Like I knew there's this thing called Survivor Maryland. They're doing some kind of a Maryland, like some kind of like a club version of Survivor. But I didn't understand that it was going to be a YouTube show because like that kind of thing just really didn't exist then at all. So I just thought it was like a club, kind of like Quidditch. It's like, oh, you know, you got the Quidditch kids and you got the Survivor kids. And I was a Survivor fan. Like I loved Survivor. I was watching it, but I didn't really think that I would want to like join some club that plays a game of Survivor until I watched it, you know, a few years later. And it was crazy because I think there's this girl that plays, I want to say season 3. It's the one that starts out where it's really, really snowy, like on the first episode.
Yeah.
I think her name is Marissa, and she goes pretty far. She was dating my roommate when I was a junior. So I honestly can't really say that I remember her, but I mean, I think she was over at the apartment a lot. So it was definitely going on.
Wow. That's cool. The metaverse of college Survivor.
Oh, and that was when she was playing. The semester that she was playing that game was when I was living with this guy. Yeah.
So
Whoa.
You very well could have been on Survivor Maryland then. Like that was the exact. You would have been on one. You would have been on like what, season 1, whatever, 1 through 5.
I would have been on 2. 1. I could have been on any of them. Except for 5. I think 5 was that fall of 2015. Maybe that might have been All Stars. I'm not sure, but. Because I graduated spring of 2015, so I probably would have been like right before the All Stars cut off.
But you could have been in the season then with like the Soka Trio and like Katie and like all of them. Like that would have been
Trio.
That would have been you.
I could have been in there with the Soka Trio if I wasn't so so busy with my musical theater club. That was like the most. That's what I was up to instead, I guess.
That's great. That's great. And I feel like Austin Trupp like said something about like, oh man, like that would have been crazy if Will was had applied back then. And that was the exact same time.
Yeah, I think I remember Austin. Like, I can't really say exactly that I do because it's been so long ago. I'm 30 now. But like I remember seeing Austin around. Like I knew who that guy was.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're like Dale age almost.
I'm younger than Dale, for the record.
Wait, how old is Dale?
You will always be younger than Dale. This has been
I will always be younger than Dale.
Dale is a kid now. He's like real
True.
swag daddy now.
Yes.
True swag daddy.
He is Captain Swag Daddy.
I'm pretty sure somebody said that Dale would have a kid by the time All Stars came out, and it was true.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar.
The prophecy came true.
It did.
It come true.
So I guess
no. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was gonna pivot.
That's fine. Pivot away.
I was just gonna ask, like, looking back on your whole Survivor Michigan experience, like, what kind of like feelings do you have towards it, like to this day?
I think it's better now than it was, when Survivor All Stars was taping, 3 years ago now. Because enough time has gone by that I've really gotten over a lot of the drama and the feelings of the time. You have the same conversations over and over and over again for years, and eventually all you're left with are the friends that you kept from the experience. And so, and I have a good number of friends that I've stayed in touch with from the seasons, and that's what I take away from it basically now that it's been this long.
That's great. Yeah. You've been there at the reunions, seen all the
Yeah, I've been at the Survivor Michigan reunions, and they get pretty rowdy. I don't know how much longer my liver will be able to keep up with them, but I'll try.
I don't know. We'll see. They take a while to recover from those. But that and ski trips with the Survivor buddies.
Yeah. Shredding gnar, getting that pow pow. These are all words I learned from a Maryland alumni, my roommate Ray. Gnar, pow pow. What else? Do you have any other ones?
I mean, I feel like those are the ones that we heard the most.
Those are the ones that stuck.
Shredding all the pow.
Pow like powder? Like snow powder?
Oh, yeah.
You want the pow.
Pow you want the pow.
Gnar is not good.
Every powder head wants the pow.
Some people do want to shred gnar, but not me.
Wait, what does gnar mean? What's gnar?
Gnarly terrain.
Oh,
so
okay.
You're like, look, you see some rocks, you see some little tree branches sticking up out, and you're like, that's some gnar right there.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I like the pow.
I prefer the pow to the gnar.
Prefer the pow. But yeah, for that reason, we were like Will said, we were just thinking like, oh, we can try and maybe schedule Keep Your Torch Lit while we're both together, right? And Eliza was there.
Eliza.
So busy, right?
So, just for the audience, imagine an alternate universe. It's a ski cabin. There's 2 leather armchairs. Sam and I are smoking cigars. Eliza is a guest commentator, and we break this down. But we just didn't want to watch that much TV, so it didn't happen.
It would have been a lot of TV because you had to catch up on a few episodes, right?
Yeah, I did, but I got it in.
Has Eliza been watching this season?
Yeah, I think so. She watched the premiere for sure. I mean, she will eventually watch all of them. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. A lot of people like Eliza and some of the like Sarah. I remember you and Jack saying as well. Like either like barely remember what happens or don't really know what happens at all. Like very kind of unspoiled. So it's kind of fun seeing. I think like Mike was on the after show. Like these people that were relatively unspoiled in All Stars, even though like they've been around for years and known everybody for years, they really don't know what happened until they actually see it on TV. Even some people in All Stars, even myself, I was on the show and I'm like, either I forgot that happened or I didn't know that happened at all. This is the first time seeing a lot of it.
I truly think it's a memory thing because we had access to every single chat. So we really should know everything that happened, but it's just like been so long.
I mean, I definitely disconnected for the rest of that season after I got voted out. Honestly, it was a really good thing. I don't think that the rest of my education would have been as good had I not gotten voted out.
You might have Dr. Aerospace.
Maybe not, because honestly, like I had to finish a big research project that semester, and I had a lot more time to focus on it. And this was right before COVID-19 started too, so there wouldn't have been any time to play catch up because I was working on with human subjects on experiments, and like all of that stuff with human to human interaction got shut down the very next semester. So when you're watching All Stars, like this was the last normal semester before COVID.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's weird. I mean, we're still convinced that Lucy is COVID patient 0. To Kevin, and Kevin has spread it to Jesse. That's kind of the theme.
Jeez, oh my God, Kevin was wait, so Kevin got it from Lucy with the ping pong
Kevin got it
ball?
from Lucy
Wait,
with the ping pong ball. Kevin gave it to Jesse this episode.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Jesse out
Okay.
of
She was
out?
commission. She was like, "Oh, I'm sick. I
Yeah.
got sick from Kevin. Gross."
yeah. She got it from Kevin through the ping pong ball. I don't know how Lucy gave it to Kevin, but somehow
I don't know, but Lucy
I
was
can
coughing
imagine
like
some
crazy
ways
in the
maybe.
first episode, so it
What?
had to have come from Lucy. Lucy was like coughing like crazy in the first episode in the bonus scenes, and then very next episode, Kevin is sick.
We've really gotten to the bottom of this.
I think we're really cracking the code on COVID-19 here. Forget about like whatever lab leak theory. Like it was all Lucy.
So the original variant was the Scrappa mutation.
The
Is that what I'm
Scrappa
getting?
mutation.
Okay.
Yeah. The Scrappa mutation.
Good to know.
Speaking of Kevin, though, I feel like this was like literally, it wasn't the episode like Will versus Kevin. Like that was pretty much the whole theme of the episode.
It was.
I guess
and
yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, let me just say, my girlfriend just watched the episode literally like in the minutes leading up to me recording this. And all she had to say when it was over was like, "Are you sure that you didn't have a crush on Kevin?" I'm like, listen.
Listen.
He is a very beautiful boy, but no, I was not. It was platonic friendship.
Did you know Kevin before All Stars? Like,
yeah. So, well, we were on the challenge committee together in season 4, so we worked a lot on season 4 together, like pretty closely. And even before that, I mean, in season 3, like I talked to Sam and Kevin the most among any of the producers, because I mean, walking home from things, Kevin lived kind of close to me in Triangle House, and I lived on Lincoln Avenue in a professor's basement, actually. Which was kind of funny, but like, so like it would be a lot of the times me, Kevin, and Eliza would sort of walk in the same direction because we all lived around the same area. So that went all the way back to season 3.
Okay. Do you think that's part of the reason why you like trusted him more? Yeah,
because well, I don't know. It's just like I just became friends with him quickly.
Yeah.
Like we had I think he was an engineer. Now I don't even remember because it's been so long. I clearly not kept up with him very well. But yeah, so we had like similar backgrounds. It was easy to talk to him. He would always like talk a lot about season 2, and Sam would too. And I was interested in hearing all the tea about the things that happened. And Kevin would always sort of just talk about how he'd been a real douche in season 2 and how he wanted to play different. And we like floated the idea of like having an alliance in All Stars, a year ahead of time, like everyone was. There was so much. I'm actually I'm surprised that the bonus content on these episodes doesn't have more of the summer pre-gaming stuff that happened, because it was all over the place. Everyone was talking to everyone. Everyone was filming things like 5 months in advance. It was wild. So
Ian's gonna release an episode 0 at some point that's entirely pre-game. It's going to just be an episode that's going to happen before episode 1, so that'll be
nice.
Look out! Tom is a big star of episode 0, so look out for that. Basically, Ian has told me that it's a lot of Tom and a lot of Will and a lot of Paddock and a lot of like is episode 0, so it'll be a good one to see.
I believe it, but Kevin would he participated in my experiment a number of times before the last semester. So even like a year, like during season 3, I think he was coming to my lab and helping me with some of my work. And I think there were even a couple of times where he stopped by my lab just like to say hi, and we would talk and stuff. So that's why I trusted him.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Developed a relationship.
Yeah.
So you knew what happened in season 2 with Kevin, with and I think that actually during this week, this very week of All Stars,
Yeah,
is the
it
week that
aired.
the episode aired where
Mhm.
Kevin,
Really?
gets blindsided basically. So what? I mean, you knew what happened in the past. I think you maybe touched on it a little bit, but like, was there a part of you that worried maybe Kevin is still the same Kevin, or you really feel
Of
like,
course, there was a part of me that thought that at the time, but I think even Kevin's assessment of me was correct. I'm a very, very emotional person, and I play Survivor very emotionally. And when you see more and more evidence about someone being untrustworthy, it can be hard to accept it when you want to see the good in them so hard.
mm,
I
yeah,
mean, not, it's still all a game, obviously. I'm not saying he's
no, I
that, yeah, but
no, I get what you're saying. You really wanted to believe that Kevin was going to play this loyal game, and when he said things like, "Oh, I was a douche in season 2. I don't want to play that way," you really were the only one that stuck up for him and believed in him and thought like, "No,
yeah,
like I want to see that. I think Kevin is going to play differently this time." And that's what he says in his very first confessional of All Stars. He
yeah.
says the most dangerous player is a player who learns from their past mistakes, and it really does seem like Kevin is going to play this game differently.
I don't get it. I mean, I think that the episode airing on
Mhm.
TV that week might have impacted the game. I think, this
Yeah,
is real metagame stuff,
no,
but it's like the cycle of the release of episodes of Survivor Michigan season
mhm.
2 probably impacted the game of Survivor All Stars because I think Kevin got a real shot of I want to stir things up. I want to be the old Kevin. I want to create chaos and be the star of the show. And I mean,
Yeah,
he definitely got what he wanted. The week is called Kevin versus Will, or
Yeah.
yeah. No, I feel like you're totally right, though. I mean, I was watching the bonus scenes, and there's a scene where Kevin literally is saying, like, I just watched myself get voted off in season
oh
2.
yeah, all
I'm
right,
being too nice right now. Like, I need to. He basically says, like, I need to bring the old Kevin back. And it's like,
yep.
what? Like, is that really what you got out of watching yourself get voted out? Do you want to go back and do the same thing again?
Well, doesn't he say on like is it like next week on Survivor or something? He's like, might only be here another week or two. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know what is. I mean, it's been talked to death that he's not playing rationally. I mean, he just wants to. I guess he just wanted to be a big character and have a big splash, and
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't playing to win. That's the whole thing with
No.
Leia, assuming, like trying to convince
Mhm.
me that people aren't going to play rationally. Yeah, I mean, you got to factor in the fact that it's not just a game. It's not just a game. You know what else it is? It's
What?
a TV show.
True.
Don't forget that. It's not just a game, it's a TV show too.
Do you think
Very
in your
true.
confessionals you put on any sort of persona, or do you think that was like truly 100% you?
Oh, I mean, I'm just amplifying myself. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, when I'm, filming myself solving the equation for chaos, the differential equation of chaos, and saying that fuck Kevin is the solution, obviously, I'm putting on a bit of an act,
Uh-huh.
but that's still me. I mean, it
Yeah.
still speaks to
Mhm.
my sense of humor and my sensibilities.
Yeah, I mean, you have some of the best confessionals, honestly.
Well,
There's just
thank you.
like your car confessionals and then the lab confessionals.
There's a
Iconic.
lot of fans that are, very disappointed to see no more Will. They're like, Will
I
is one of
know.
the best
Thanks.
characters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes me feel good that people enjoyed watching me. I know I'm obnoxious and cocky, but I've tried to at least not hurt people the way that I did in season 3. I mean, I felt really terrible that we, sort of bullied Aaron in season 3, and I didn't want anything like that to ever happen again, certainly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so what can I say?
Yeah, I think the second time you played more like a hero for sure. Would you say that, Sam?
I
I
definitely feel
think,
like,
yeah.
it's interesting that Kevin has this confessional in the first episode about learning from your mistakes and playing differently. And you see that Kevin ultimately is unable to do so. Whereas you, Will, I think you really do play a lot. You play similar in some ways, but also you do play differently this time. And it's kind of in a tragic way, that ends up being your downfall in some ways
It
where,
does. It does end up being my downfall because the end was the same. story again of Ben versus Will versus Kevin, but this time
Exactly.
I lost. Maybe because I played a little too nice this time. I don't know.
You definitely
I don't know.
did. You definitely did. You remember? I mean, there's a confession where you're like, you know what? Like, I don't remember if this was in the episode or not. But you're like, I'm not going to be paranoid. Will this time? I'm not paranoid. You know what? Leah's the one that's paranoid, and Emily's the one that's paranoid, and I just try and tell them they need to calm down. And
I mean, what? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just it's interesting because I do really think though that because of you playing this game differently and trying to play more laid back, I think it really did help. You didn't have that target in your back the first time. I think even Jesse in this episode talked about like I was shocked that Will didn't come and search for the idol clue for the idols at at midnight, whatever that one night, and like a lot of people were like, wow, like yeah, Will doesn't seem to be playing as hard. That's what they thought at least, and you didn't have that target that you had the first time. I think that you really did. It helped you in some ways, and I guess in some ways maybe it didn't with Kevin. But
I mean, every game is unique. The first when you play with people you don't know, then people don't know what you're capable of. So you can play like a total lunatic and Tony your way to the end. Not that I got to the end. I got not that far, but when you play with people that know you and that you're labeled as being paranoid, you have to take a different strategy. So I try to be more laid back, and I think it was working to some extent. I mean, I patched up my relationships with a few people within the first couple weeks that did not like me, and I was able to just try to use my social game to be relaxed and try to listen a lot and not talk over people. And I think I did ingratiate myself with people, but ultimately, I mean, what was my downfall? I don't know. Probably I had that meeting with Bailey and Emily B. It was in, I think, Bailey's sorority house. And she floated the idea of voting out Kevin. I'm not sure if it exactly was presented in the edit the way that I'm remembering it happening, but basically she suggested Kevin that day. And that was my last chance where if you see it, me and Emily look really uncomfortable about the idea of voting out Kevin, and we kind of leave the meeting and it's unresolved. But I think that at that moment, had I flipped on Kevin, it might have worked out for me. But instead, it was sort of like a dibs. Who has dibs on Odawa? Who gets there first? Kevin got there first, so I got screwed. I mean, I think maybe within Bailey's mind and Andrew's mind, Cooper probably wanted me out regardless. I don't think he cared about the dibs, who got there first. It didn't matter to him. Cooper wanted me out, but at least maybe Bailey and to some extent Andrew, had I gotten there before Kevin, I might have had a better chance. And it didn't help that very night after that sorority house meeting, a few hours later, I'm texting Kevin that we should vote out Andrew, and then he took screenshots of that and showed them around, and then Andrew is calling me a scumbag the very next morning. So so that kind of blew up my shot of maybe swinging Andrew on my side. So let's think of the alternate universe where I flip on Kevin immediately. I don't float out the idea of voting out Andrew. Then maybe Bailey and Andrew are both pushing more to vote out Kevin rather than just falling completely in line with Cooper suggesting me. I don't know, whatever. Lots of scenarios.
Yeah. That meeting with Bailey, the sorority house meeting was so awkward and just like reminded me of like when you're not working with someone and you meet up with them, it's like you don't really know what to say because you're like not telling them things, and it just gets really awkward, and you can both sense that you're just like not on the same page.
We're not on the same page, and me and Emily B are clearly out of practice because we haven't been to a tribal council in a month.
Oh yeah, so this was your first tribal council this season.
Yep, that's right.
Because Sangria just dominated. Wait, hold
continues to dominate 4-0, all because of Jackson.
All because of Jack. He pulled.
And Bree, hey Bree, maybe Bree through.
She might be the special sauce.
Yeah. Wait, so can we talk about the swap? Because that was like a big thing that happened this episode. So the captains were you, Sam. Yeah. It was you, Bree. Who else was it again?
Cooper,
Emily B,
and Emily B.
Emily Beast.
Which somebody said were like the four people who were kind of like in really good positions on their former tribes, which I thought was
someone said it was all of them except for Emily B, but I would disagree because Emily B was also in a very, very incredible position on Sangria.
It was. Well, I mean, that whole secret four of you, Emily B, Leia, and Bree, honestly, I mean, you could say pretty much any of you four could have been, I can think, on equal terms as far as running that tribe at that point.
Yeah, I think we were all in pretty good positions. But from Emily B's perspective, we have Emily B is in, the 4, right? She's also in an alliance with me and Kevin. She's also with a potential opportunity for all girls, So she's
That's
in
true.
every
No, that's
single
true.
alliance on that tribe, every
She actually
combination.
is
Yeah,
in the
and I would
best,
say,
the best position in all Sangria. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, were you saying something else?
You could also probably extend that to Leia and Bree as well. They were all. I think the only one you could knock down one peg might be Jesse, but basically Kevin and Jackson were at the bottom.
The thing is, Leia and Bree didn't have the relationship with Kevin that Emily B did, though. So technically,
No,
I think
didn't.
Emily B, you could say, had literally every single person. You even saw her meet with Jackson and have she has this kind of secret thing with Jackson because she knows Jackson and Megan are dating, and Jackson knows that she knows that she really does have a relationship.
You're right.
Beef with every single person and a potential idol. We'll see whether it's real
That's
or not.
wild.
But Emily B's I think it's funny that Nick says it's the 3 people running the tribes and then Emily B. It should have actually been the 4 people.
4 people running the tribes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily B was really she was in every single permutation of any alliance on that tribe.
But she's maybe even in a better spot because she doesn't have the target she doesn't have the whatever stigma of running her tribe because people don't know.
Right.
People
people call her Bad News Bears when she's actually, the gangster of the tribe.
Yeah.
Did she pick you first? I forgot who she picked.
She picked Bailey first, and then me. Yeah, we were both probably, I don't know, towards the top.
Oh, I remember being so annoyed, Will, because I think I was I want to say I was the second person and Emily was the third. And since it was a snake draft, I had my first pick, right? I pick Adam because I know Adam has the idol. I'm like, okay, I need to have the idol on my tribe. I need to have the idol with me. That way I can, have access to it if I need it. And then I'm like, next pick, I want to pick Leia or Will, whichever one is available. And it goes through and Cooper gets 2 picks. He picks Leia. I'm like, okay, there's still Will. Then Emily, 1 pick before me, picks Will. I'm like, I can't pick either of them. I guess I'll pick Lucy. I would have, because I was that 1 pick away from picking you, Will. And
Wait, you would have picked Leia and Will over Lucy?
Yes. I didn't want my alliance with Lucy and Adam to be too obvious.
Oh.
So so I would have preferred to pick somebody that wasn't both of them, but then it just ended up.
But don't you think you picking me would have confused a lot of people, or be like, why did Sam just pick Will? Wouldn't that have attracted a lot of attention in a weird way or something?
I don't know.
It's almost more obvious. It's more obvious that you would pick Lucy. Everyone already knows that you're with Lucy.
I feel like people weren't analyzing the picks that deeply. Maybe they were, but I don't feel like everyone was saying why did? I don't know. I wanted to pick. I remember it was you, Nick, and Leia were my closest connections in different tribes, and then all 3 of you were picked before I had my second pick. So then I was like, okay, I'll pick Lucy because I also was if I don't pick Lucy, someone else might pick Lucy and she could get voted off. So I was kind of concerned about it. So I was like, fine, whatever. I'll just give away my alliance and pick Lucy. Now we're going to be a big target, all 3 together, but at least I have 3 guaranteed votes with me.
Also, you caught so much flack for picking Aaron as the obvious vote out on your tribe, but we did the exact same thing the very next pick. The Megan pick was identical to the Aaron pick in that draft. It was.
I know.
All right, we're gonna, and then Emily says it. Oh, I had to pick Megan, so we would have someone to vote out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're picking a 4-person, that's the thing that they didn't tell us whether we could combine tribes or whether they're gonna be 4 tribes or 4. And in my mind, I didn't want to risk picking someone I really wanted to work with. And then we lose, and now I'm screwed. I have to vote off 1 of 3 allies because I was very close to picking Jesse. It was I think it was Jesse, Kevin, Megan, and Aaron were the last 4 left, and I was like, okay, I could either pick the person I want to work with, which is Jesse, but I'm like, what if I pick Jesse and we lose? I had to vote off Jesse. That would suck. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna pick the number 1 person I need to get out, which is Aaron, because I know that if Aaron is on another tribe, she has a vendetta against me and my alliance, and she is going to spend the rest of the game at a swap building up numbers against me. That's what I was afraid of is Aaron goes somewhere else, she is going to build an army. That's all she's going to do apart from me.
Actually,
build an army against me. I can't let that happen.
It reminds me a lot of the D-swap situation in season 3. I feel like we were kind of learning from that to some extent because we ended up in a situation where we like kind of clustered together, and there was no one to vote out because it was like everyone within our
Yeah,
alliance was
exactly.
on a tribe of the demerge, and then Emily Paddock got voted out.
Yeah.
And it was like a really tough week. So it was very intentional that we had, you know, you knew could be a very small tribe, and you have to pick someone that you will vote out.
Yeah. And were you involved in that discussion with Emily to choose Megan as like an
Oh
easy?
yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure I was thinking
You
that,
could
and
have
then
picked Kevin.
as soon as I saw you pick Aaron, it was obvious that we had to pick Megan.
I thought it was
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. I thought it was interesting that they let you guys like talk about who to pick versus just like making the captains make the decision.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it might not have been designed that well. I mean, they probably didn't even have a rule for that. You know, we were just standing there, so obviously going to whisper.
Yeah. Well, Cooper, see, he didn't really seem to be thinking about voting people off, and he was like, "Oh, I just want like people that will win." Like
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
there's like two strategies.
Yeah,
that's so strange to hear from him.
And then Bree didn't think about either of them. She's like, "Oh, who do I just like vibe with?" So she picked people she liked. People, I remember there being people like, "Oh, she picked Jackson as like an obvious vote off," and she's like, "Oh no, like I picked Jackson because I want to work with Jackson."
I think it's funny how most people thought Jessie was just like, "Oh, these two," but then she actually had like a really good reason. She wanted to split Bree and Leia up so that she had somebody no matter what.
Yeah,
no, definitely. We're seeing Jessie come into her own.
Yeah, and I feel like nobody thinks she gets games. Like that was her reputation.
It's just become like a stereotype at this point, you know.
Part-time player.
Yeah, part-time player, as I would say. Apparently, I have no memory of saying that, but I did say it.
Oh, that was you who said that? That's so funny.
Yeah, Jessie's what we call a part-time survivor player.
It is like I actually really liked in this episode how Jessie was like helping you out. Like she was like, "Oh, I heard this information that Will's in trouble," and like,
yeah, right.
Tell Leia about this. I'm like, yeah.
No, I mean, we're on good terms now. So, I mean, I guess things were really pretty much better forever after the first couple weeks of the game when we kind of like squashed the beef. Because I think at least I don't even know if this is even true anymore, but like a year ago or so, she was texting me about, I think her boyfriend was an aerospace engineer, and she was like asking questions about, I don't know, maybe like what types of job opportunities or something. So I don't know, we're on good terms.
Wait,
I guess not really friends. Jessie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Leia at first. I was like, boyfriend. Okay.
No. I was saying Jessie's boyfriend. At least,
okay.
I mean, I don't really keep up with Jessie, but you know, we're on good terms.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Jessie, Bree is another person that you kind of had that Will squashes the beef tour with.
Right. Yeah. I know. I was really like a politician on a tour, like the first week. Like, all right, we got a lot of people who don't like me.
Well, it was funny because most people didn't remember why.
Yeah,
it was just a feeling.
Yeah, you know, I'm just generally slimy. You know, just generally a slimy guy. You don't like it when I'm around. Makes sense.
Yeah, Jessie, I don't even remember why I don't like Will. I just always I don't like him.
Because I was trying to build my mountain to stand at the top of, with Jessie at the bottom of it. That's why she didn't like me.
Yeah.
And because I got too cocky while I was explaining all the rules of the game that she was playing to her. When she didn't know any of the rules of the game that she was playing.
Right.
Yeah, you were explaining those. Well, and then she saw you, lying into her face when Lisa was texting you and she was in the car.
That was a little awkward. Yeah, I mean, this is just season 3 stuff. That was bad. That was just like text messages literally popping up from Eliza saying, "Wow, it was so nice to see you today." And then she goes, "Hey, Will, do you ever talk to anyone on Sabu Sabu?" And I say, "No, never."
Yeah. Oh my god, the text popping up is so stressful. You have to turn the notifications off.
Mm-hmm. This is the big downside of filming while you're driving with your phone pointed directly at both of you.
Yep.
I guess that is like the thing though, is like those things that we talk about with Jessie are, it's like they're funny, but they're not like that serious. Or, you know what I mean? It's things that like after the years have passed after season 3, you can kind of get over it and just kind of start over it. The two of you were really on the, you had the same interests. You had the same allies with Leia and Bree and Emily. And
oh yeah, I think we would have worked really well together in season 5 had I not gotten voted out.
Now you did have a pitch I thought was interesting to Bailey, Cooper, and Andrew that listen, like if you guys vote off Kevin instead of me, like I won't go to Rocks for Jesse. Like
I did say
like
that.
you guys, well,
This
you guys
is
will be
bonus
fine.
content.
Now, is that true? Like, would you have not? What do you think would have happened if they had voted off Kevin here at this tribal council? Now Jesse joins your tribe.
That's really complicated. So I told them I would not go to Rocks for Jesse. I don't know what I would have done if we had actually gotten into that situation. It's really hard to like put that whole world back in your brain again. But no, I don't think I would. I wouldn't have gone to Rocks because this was like a swapped tribe. This was a you know, like I already know, like yeah, me and Jesse are cool, but like she doesn't really, like me that much. Like
I'm not gonna go to Rocks.
Not enough for Rocks.
yeah, and plus, like I was close with you, and I was like kind of itching to join up with the Sam and Lucy team. I was ready to jump onto you guys, and obviously if I could, well, no, I mean I was still loyal fundamentally to Leia. I wouldn't, and Emily B, because I really owed her a lot, and to Bree too. So I wouldn't have ever really wanted to betray them, but I would have been fine getting rid of Jesse. Yeah, and ultimately my interest was in kind of hoping that this group could combine with Sam's group.
Yeah.
So long story short, what I said to Cooper and Bailey and Andrew was true. I would not go to Rocks to protect Jesse, and that was a pitch where I was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, because in that case, like, I mean, I really do feel like Andrew had a lot of reasons to keep you around. Like,
yeah, because I liked Andrew. I thought he was a cool guy, and I wanted to kind of be, this. We have these cross-tribe pairs popping up. You have Cooper and Leia. You have Emily and Bailey. And at that moment, I was very sincere that, like, Andrew, like, I will look out for you. You'll look out for me. We're already making this Odawa Sangria sandwich. Let's do this, you and me.
Who do you think you would have gone to the end with had you made it that far? Like, who are you most loyal to?
Who was I most loyal to in that game? I mean, Sam and I had already started to become really good friends, so I would have been really loyal to him, and it would have been really hard to ever turn on Sam. Okay. But at the same time, like, I knew he was a huge threat to win, so I can't imagine that I would have really gone to the end with Sam. I was probably most loyal to Leia. Yeah, we had a really good thing going, and I respected how smart and savvy she was about the game, especially, that in retrospect that she immediately, like, had this, like, kind of military/cop kind of interrogation of Kevin, did you meet with Bailey? Are you flipping? Like, she was just right there in the interrogation. So I had a lot of respect for her style and her gameplay. I think I would have liked to go really far with her, but it just always bothered me how close she was with Cooper and how weird that relationship was. It's like, we're friends, we're not going to turn on each other, but at the same time she like wants him out, and I just never understood really the Cooper Leia relationship.
I feel like they're just very competitive.
Yeah,
but like just super good friends. Yeah.
It's interesting. Like it did really seem like you and Leia had a very tight connection, and it seemed like you were kind of speaking the same language as far as how you talked about loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. We definitely shared that language of loyalty. I like that she was writing that thesis about Survivor and that she appreciated the game theory aspects of it, because I also like study game theory to some extent at least, and I was very, I don't know, we definitely vibed with her, and I really liked her perspective. I think going towards the end of the game also, I liked that Leia was a firecracker. I liked that she was kind of explosive and intense, and I think I did in the back of my mind at least think that maybe if I got to the end of the game with Leia, that I could come up with ways to get her to kind of be a little too explosive, a little too out there, that maybe I might actually get votes over her because of how intense that she can be. Because I'm intense. So it'd be great to sit next to someone who's even more intense than me.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's funny. I do remember. Sadly, I don't know if we filmed this, but this was the very same day of the swap. Me and you we both went to Hopcat together, and we had like a really good conversation about the game. And like I feel like, and you were kind of talking about how like, me and Kevin are talking about like these titans of the game, and kind of talking about like Cooper has the power right now, and I was like really, it was a really good conversation, and I felt like
got lost.
I felt very good about our relationship in the game and wanting to work with you, and that was kind of why I said, with that I would have got you with that second pick, but then you were picked before I could, and I really did. I think we both were on the same page as far as we really wanted to work together, and just didn't end up on the same tribe. But I remember we had a really good Hopcat, and then I just had a shit ton of burgers and beer, and then we got to this really very physical
crack
challenge.
Fries.
Yeah, the crack fries. Can't forget they're called cosmic fries now.
Everything's going to shit in this world. That's
why. Or crack fries. Then I remember I was so physical. My stomach hurt so bad, and I did that challenge. It was very physically exhausting. It was so horrible that I was like, as soon as the challenge ended, like the very minute, Brady says like, "Oh, there's like clues released. Go search for clues in the volleyball course." And I just like went over to the bushes and I just like puked my guts out for like a solid 20 minutes.
Oh
and I was
my
just puking
gosh.
over and over, and I like could not stop puking. I was like, I don't know if I
God.
can even, like, I felt horrible. And then Kevin like comes over with his phone. He's like, "Are you searching for the idol here?" And I was like, "No, Kevin, like go away. Like I'm puking right now. Like I can't do this."
Well, at least you didn't puke during the challenge.
Yeah,
that would have been
would've
rough.
horrible.
You beat Cooper, right? Didn't you take Cooper down?
I know.
Okay.
I took every ounce of energy to beat Cooper and Emily. I think, I don't know. It was me and Bree against Cooper and Emily, and tough battle. But I did not want to lose. I really didn't want to lose because I did not feel good about my tribe and where I might stand if we lost. So I was put everything into winning that, and then I puked my guts out.
Imagine if you puked onto Cooper.
That would have been great.
I don't think that would have stopped him.
Okay, let's just talk about Cooper. Why does Sarah have such a vendetta against Cooper? Like, I get it. Okay, but at the same time, like, she's a little too obsessed with Cooper. It's like Moby Dick and Captain Ahab.
It's because she always ends up trusting him, and then he like does something that like goes against her. Like, doesn't she have a counter? Like the last time Cooper scred me.
Yeah, I think we're up to 7 days now, right? Since Cooper last screwed her.
Well, see, at that point, then like, why are you still aligned with Cooper if you are so like, if you really think that Cooper is gonna screw you again? You're counting the days. That means you almost expect it to happen again. So like,
it's because Cooper is the king of the mountain. It's not that it's a popularity contest, but it's like Cooper's the center of the Survivor Michigan universe. It's like he was the host, and his parties are always at his house, and Andrew lives across the street, and it's all very much a social hierarchy. I mean, and that what Cooper said at the beginning is true. Like, if you speak his name, the fear of God better come in your heart, because he will destroy you if you do. And no one really wants Cooper to be. No one wants Cooper to be in the game, but everyone is terrified of him. You would never seriously throw out his name. And I really think there could have been a shot at him if Leia. Maybe if we'd been in a swamp tribe where Leia wasn't there, we could have actually been like, "Holy shit, Leia's not here! Leia's not here! We can kill Cooper! Yay!"
It sounded like you really wanted to in your confessional, like where I think you were talking with.
Of course.
Do you think that if you suggested that to Kevin, that Kevin would have, he wants to make a big crazy move and be super villainous? Like, do you think?
I probably did suggest it to Kevin, and it didn't
work out. Well, it would have been really hard.
I feel like he might have shut me down. I feel like there were points where I kind of brought it up, and he probably said the same thing I just did, about him being untouchable or something, and shut it down.
See, the thing is, Will, and I really. See, it makes me sad this wasn't caught on video. I think that's what we discussed at Hopcat. Is you were basically saying all this stuff about like, Cooper's like running the game, and then how come everyone's too afraid to say Cooper's name? Like, you're kind of like testing the waters. And I was like, you mean I agree, Will? Like, I agree. We were both like,
I agree, but you better think real hard before we have this conversation, son. You better think real hard about what you're about to say.
It's basically like, what you mean? Like, are we gonna say this? Are you saying what I think you're saying? And we're like, interesting. Okay, we're both kind of on the same page here about voting off what's his name? Maybe we don't want to say the name, but we both know what we're talking about here.
He who shall not be named. Everyone wants that on their resume.
Yeah,
I know. Dang, maybe I should. If only I'd been on a tribe with Sarah Gallagher, everything would have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. See, maybe let's just blame Jesse for combining the wrong tribes. See, like
Yeah, what the hell?
I didn't want Aaron and Jackson together. You know, you didn't want Cooper and Leia together, and you know this kind of weird combination where Kevin's reunited with Bailey, and it really was just a very bad combination of people for you. I think they should have me and Emily. That would have been good.
That would have been good.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what then. Yeah, I don't know if that would have been good. I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of different ways it could have gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just happy that you didn't throw me under the bus the way you threw Emily Paddock under the bus.
Yeah, that's tough. I did not want to do that. It was. I blame Tom for that one. I blame Tom for that one. I remember you were begging for an idol. You were like, Sam, please, like, if you know where the idol is, Adam, if you know where the idol is, and I was like, I think I kind of suggested to Adam, like, you know, you could give Will your idol, and we could like cause some chaos in the other tribe, and I feel like he just didn't. He didn't have any relationship with you is the thing. He's like, well,
that's true. We did meet up. I don't think we filmed it. I don't think it made the bonus content or anything, but
we did meet up.
That same day that I met with Bailey and Cooper and Andrew, I also met with Adam also. And I mean, that footage exists. I'm surprised that it didn't make I'm surprised it's not in the bonus content, because I sat there and I begged Adam to give me an idol. I begged him. I was like, Adam, I know you have an idol, and I'm telling you, I'm begging you, please give me the idol. I'm with you. I'm with Sam. Like, Sam can vouch for me. I'm begging you to give me your idol. Please, I will do anything. Like, and it was on I think the steps of Hatcher Library, I want to say. So.
What did he say?
I don't have an idol. I don't have an idol. I don't have an idol.
I mean, look, he did work pretty hard to find an actual real one.
I
feel like I would have given it to you just to even cause some chaos.
I don't know. I mean, because I'm telling you, he had it, right?
Yeah.
And I sat there and I begged him to give me the idol for like 30 minutes.
You had a lot of different pitches, and all of them are very good pitches. I mean, you really did a lot this episode. So, oh man, you really did get fucked. You got fucked.
But you know what? The harder you work, the more of a target you become.
Yeah.
I know. That's the annoying part.
I know. At the end of the day, when Odawa's sitting around the table, it's time to vote. Are they gonna vote out the guy who busted his ass, like, you know, talking to 10 million people all day?
Yeah.
Or are they gonna vote out Kevin?
Right.
They're gonna vote out the first one.
Now, there's a question. One more kind of question I have for you is about your alliance with Dylan. I think this is shown in the bonus scenes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I haven't finished the bonus scenes yet, so yeah, my alliance with Dylan.
I haven't seen the bonus scenes. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know this made the bonus scenes, so I have to like remember what happened. Yeah. But yeah, basically, you know, I was talking to a lot of people before the game, but I had this idea that, you know, I liked Dylan, and I was, to some extent, I was in an alliance with Dylan in season 3 towards the very end of Mumps and Men. I guess it was a fake alliance in reality. However, in theory, it could have been a real alliance had Erin not won the final 5 immunity challenge, right? Yeah, she did win that. Yeah.
She would have gotten voted off, and then at that point, it would have been.
Yeah, I think if both Erin and me had both been vulnerable at final 5, it probably would have been her, and my alliance would have been more solidified as a real thing, but instead they voted me out. So I had a good relationship with Dylan. I mean, I voted for him to win. I liked Dylan. So I think I just reached out to him because I had this idea around the beginning of the game that no one would ever suspect that we were working together. But it became pretty clear that he was against Sam, and I had more of an alliance with Sam. And at one point, I did something really, I think, against your interests, Sam. I told Dylan something. I don't even remember because it was 3 years ago.
Try to help him. Or something. You try, and you were like, he was trying to pretend it was a real idol. To get
I did something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave him a fake idol.
Yes.
That's not very helpful.
No.
Okay, it wasn't very helpful. That's why I didn't feel that bad about it. But like, I was, I was kind of playing both sides there a little bit because I did kind of have this. It was, like a little card in your back pocket, like,
Yeah.
maybe this little, low key, like under the radar alliance with Dylan that doesn't mean anything, but no one knows about it. Hey, maybe it could pay off someday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that it really could have, and it kind of seemed like it was one of those like basic. And Dylan, the way that Dylan described it was like, oh, I had this secret alliance with Devin my first game, and I want to do this again. And this time, it's like me and Will are a secret alliance. And
So
like
you-
I think he was really bought into it, and it just didn't work out because of Dylan. Both you and Dylan kind of back to back going out and like really weird, kind of very unlucky ways that like just kind of got screwed by circumstance, I guess. But if that did not happen, I think that it really wouldn't have been expected by anybody. And it seemed like both of you were really bought into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to hear he bought into it that much. To be honest, for me, it really was just kind of something in my back pocket. So I did not take it that seriously. But the fact that he did, I mean, hell yeah, maybe I could have been in a situation where it would have helped me a lot.
Well, I think you would have had a lot of options at like a swap. As you said, it's this Dylan thing you had in your back pocket, and there's, I want to work with Sam, and I have this alliance with Leia and Emily and Bree, and I'm good with Jesse and Kevin, and I think there's even someone else you were talking about.
I mean, the only other thing was I thought I was good with Megan, but I guess I was definitely not, so I was wrong about that. But yeah, there might have been someone else too. I don't remember anymore. I have to think about it really hard. No, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Emily P also got voted out.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the thing with Emily and Bailey that I was kind of cooking on.
Oh yeah. But then she tried to get you to flip on your own alliance while you were in the majority without explaining.
Yeah, and I waited like 24 hours too long to do it, basically.
Well, the thing is, I really didn't understand that scene with Bailey. I can see from her perspective, she knows Kevin is flipped, and she's basically like, she's trying to give you an opportunity to flip. But why not just say?
Why not just tell? This isn't a test. Is this a fucking test? Like, what is this?
By the way, Kevin flipped. Like, are you going to flip on him or not? Like, what was the purpose of keeping it secret for so long?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because in that case, you would have said like, "Oh yeah, fuck Kevin. Like, we'll flip on Kevin."
She just told me that Kevin was against me. Then I would have turned against Kevin and been a freaking bulldozer. Like screaming to kill Kevin like immediately. Like all she had to do was tell me, "Hey, Kevin's throwing you under the bus," and I would have been like, "What?" I would have lost it. And but she didn't. Instead, it was more like, go ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of the meeting she had with Kevin where Kevin like wasn't really saying directly what he wanted to say, and Bailey had to like decipher everything.
Yeah,
it's like just say
it.
Say what you mean.
Show your intentions.
Yeah.
Bailey looked actually though like in those, especially in those bonus scenes, she seemed really sad to vote you off.
Yeah.
It seemed like she really didn't want to do it. She was like, even after you gave that last pitch, she's like, "So what are we doing, guys? Like, are we gonna go with Will?"
Yeah.
Like, and Cooper's like, "No, like we this is our only shot at Will." And Bailey, I think
that was it. I was dead as soon as at that moment that Cooper said that. I was dead.
Yeah, I think that both Andrew and Bailey would have been.
I think so.
Scenario, at least in this at this very point in the game, I think it's. I don't know. A part of me thinks that it's better to get rid of you. That you were the bigger threat. You were much more connected, but it did, at least for Andrew. I think your pitch made sense. That Lix and Andrew
I think Andrew had that pitch in the back of his head that the other two each have someone on Sangria and he doesn't. So I think that pitch made sense to him and it was in the back of his head. I think Bailey felt really bad about it and was willing to kind of go to bat a bit more, but all it took was Cooper to put his foot down for both of them to shut up.
Just say though, I mean, it reminds me of that conversation kind of in the previous episode where it seems kind of like Lucy doesn't really want to vote off Aaron. Adam doesn't really want to vote off Aaron. They kind of feel bad personally about it. And I say, like, I feel like strategically Aaron is more connected than Dylan, which the edit in the episode kind of proves that that's not even correct. Dylan also had the connections, but I said,
Yeah, that was really funny.
yeah, but they were kind of like, yeah, I do feel like I don't want to do it, but it feels like it's a more logical move.
Yeah.
It just takes someone saying that, but I don't even think that was correct when I said that. It's just what I thought. Dylan really did have a lot more connections than anyone realized.
Yeah, he had a lot more going on than people realized.
He did.
All right. I feel like we covered most things. I just wanted to like quickly go through some things I thought were like funny in the episode.
Yeah.
I guess the first one being like Lucy and Adam, where Lucy's trying to like decipher the fake clue and like call out everything that was like wrong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's like is that Idol Investigations with
Yes.
Lucy?
Mhm.
Yeah, that really cracked me up.
The producer. This is what happens when you're on production for too long. And then Adam dancing to the theme song too.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was like a mashup of like every theme song at once or something,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but Lucy's thing, okay, but is what she was saying true? Like, oh, like production would not buy a cheap necklace. Is that really true?
That's what they always did. They would buy like a $10 necklace off of Amazon and hide it.
Okay.
I think it's just that it may be cheap, but like it looks better. Like I think Jackson's looked cheap, but the ones that production buys, it doesn't usually look as cheap.
He didn't buy the correct cheap ones.
Exactly.
You get to buy 21 of them. He's cheap. They're probably like $1 necklace.
They're like
his was really mass produced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like the Alibaba.
Yeah.
Like production.
You got to spend at least like $5 on a necklace or $10.
Yeah.
You really had to drop the bag, Jackson, if you wanted to do more.
Even though her things about the wording, I don't agree. I mean,
no, the word.
No, they are not that consistent. Because even when they read it, I'm pretty sure that I've seen Survivor Michigan clues that were worded the exact way that she said they were not worded.
It's not not worded like that. That's and I don't know if I really agreed with Lucy's Idol investigation notes either.
It's like in hindsight when it's fake. She's like, "Oh yeah, obviously."
She's like, "Oh, I know this is fake, and here's all the reasons why."
Right.
Other than the fact that it is fake.
Because here's something she mentions something about like Brady will tell you to present your idol or something.
Yeah.
She calls out specifically like they wouldn't say that, like they wouldn't, I guess, have Brady's name in the clue. But I'm looking back at, and this would be something for the fans to look at. I feel like in season 2 or 3, maybe season 3, I feel like Cooper's name was in an idol clue at some point, or in a rule sheet for immunity idols.
It's very possible.
I think it was. I think it said like Cooper will, maybe not. I don't know.
Are you saying we need to investigate Lucy's idol investigations even further?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we need to I think we need to have an audit on Lucy's whole like agency of idol investigations. I think we need a full investigation of the investigation.
Seems a little bit sus to me. It might be like a cover for some sort of like COVID factory or something. I don't know. Whatever sketchy things she's up to.
I guess so. Makes sense.
Another thing I want to mention, it's kind of funny tie-in. That part, the scene in the beginning, you see me tell Kevin, by the way, Megan and Jackson are dating, and like I know that Kevin will spread it to everybody. So
and he does immediately.
The reason I told him that, I didn't set up a specific meeting. Like, I need to have Kevin over just so I can tell him this. I happened to have him at my apartment because we were filming Keep Your Torch Lit, because Kevin had voted off of season 2 in my apartment. During All-Star, recording Keep Your Torch Lit, he's going to leave. I'm like, this is perfect. Like, I can just tell. We started talking about the game, and I'm like, I got to start filming here. Like, by the way, Kevin, Megan and Jackson. He's like, oh my God, really? He leaves. So he just happened to be over. And funny enough, I kind of feel like I was trying to bomb their games by saying that, I'm like, Megan just tried to vote me off after all this, like, screw Megan, everyone might as well know about her and Jackson now. And in some ways, it kind of seems like this helps Megan and Jackson, because Kevin right away goes to them and he's like, I want to work with you guys. And Aaron does the same thing. And they kind of form this 4 that may or may not be real. Seems like Jackson isn't super into it, but you do get this 4 of Megan and Jackson, Aaron and Kevin. Now they have the knowledge that Megan and Jackson are together. Kevin wants to work with both of them.
And also at the end of the day, Megan was vulnerable this tribal council and she didn't get any votes.
No.
Yeah.
Identifying pairs is a powerful thing. I mean, that even kind of happens on Odawa before with Nick and Sarah. No, not Sarah. Nick and Bailey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really want to be together at all, but because people were being paired up, and because Tom said that they were a pair, then they kind of became a pair.
It's kind of funny that Tom's whole perception of Odawa, which was maybe not entirely correct, did end up influencing the paradigm that everyone viewed Odawa, and kind of like influenced a lot of the strategies because like, oh, I guess Nick and Bailey are together now, and people would start strategizing around that. And it's like Nick's like, I want to be paired with Sarah. Like I don't want to be paired with Bailey.
Yeah, it's really easy to influence people in this game, I guess.
You start saying something enough times, oh, these people are together.
People believe it.
People believe it because then that person will tell someone else, and that person will tell two other people, and suddenly like everyone in the game is repeating over and over that these people are together, and you just.
It's like when Chloe starts telling people not to be paranoid, and then suddenly everyone's paranoid.
Exactly. So the second that she says Will syndrome to someone else, now everyone's saying Will syndrome.
They've caught it. They got the bug.
They have.
I mean, isn't that like a trick to up your own confidence? Like if you tell yourself something enough times, you like start to believe it about yourself.
Isn't that like manifesting or something?
Yeah, like a little bit. Interesting. The only other thing I thought I had noted was like AJ's shower confessional. These are like the most random things. So like somebody was like, the first shower confessional is Survivor Michigan. I just think like Adam, AJ, I never know.
I think that AJ goes by AJ these days, but kind of speaking about this like time period in the past, you know, they are completely fine with Adam and Adam, AJ basically says like, pronouns he, they, AJ, Adam, but he says use what you would like to. I usually would use AJ to refer to him in the present, but in 2019 world, this is Adam.
It was Adam. Okay.
And that's the person that we're talking about in the context of All Stars.
Yeah. Well, I think he is definitely someone who, I think him and Emily B are two of the people who I just think improved the most in terms of their confessionals from their first season to this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Just something I wanted to make note of. Emily B especially.
Emily Beast.
I feel like really came into herself on this season.
No, I love seeing these people that really feel like they have something to prove from their first season. They're really getting the opportunity to do it. I mean, we talked a lot about Emily and how well she's playing so far, especially for the first three episodes. This episode, you know, she doesn't really do anything wrong. She really just is like reacting to this, you know, Kevin thing that she really is upset about, but you know, she decides not to play her idol that she has, or may not have. You know, she says, I'm not going to play this, but really considers it. Her and Adam, I feel like, have both really, really picked up from their first season. And it's really fun seeing them. And Sarah, too, I think, is another example of someone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're really beyond where they have their first time, and we're seeing new territory for them. And it's fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily really kicked it off with a bang from the beginning. I think her audition video she submitted, she tried to do a whole Elle Woods thing, kind of like in the jacuzzi. Like, this is why I should be on Survivor Michigan.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
No, I want to talk about somebody we haven't talked about very much is Aaron. Aaron really needed a new life in this game, and it's a very brutal moment. Bailey says it was cold, it was mean. You see a lot of people, Megan talks about it, and you know where Megan accused Aaron specifically to vote her off, but then I get combined with another tribe. Now Aaron has all these options of people to work with to, you know, try and get me out, me or someone from my alliance out. So what do you guys think about Aaron and her position in this new tribe?
I mean,
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
I think nothing could be worse than the situation she was in on old Bonnie. So she's definitely in a better position. Can you remind me who's on the tribe?
So it's the 4 Pawnees, me, Adam, Lucy, and Aaron. And then we got combined with Bree's group. Bree picked, it was her, Nick, Sarah, and Jackson.
I think it's really good that Jackson's on that tribe
Mm-hmm.
for her.
I
Two of
can't
them.
tell though how Bree feels about Jackson and Aaron, because I wouldn't expect her to want to work with Jackson, but she seems kind of like, I don't know, she seems to be excited to be on Jackson's tribe, and
Yeah.
she picked Jackson, right? And I just
Yeah, she did.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess she never. I was curious if she ever said anything about Jackson on Old Sangria, where
No,
he seemed to
no.
always be the obvious vote. But it seems like I think that she always was good with Jackson, and she kind of mentions like, "Oh yeah, like I always kind of like Jackson." She's like, "I like people with bad personalities because I have a bad personality."
Wait, Bree
Funny.
said that?
Yeah, that's what she said in one of the professionals.
What's a bad personality?
That's basically I don't know what she means by that, but that's what she said. I like. So anyway, it seems like she wants to work with Jackson, and right away she's like, "Oh, I would vote off Sam," and
Yeah.
Nick seems to be the only one. He does not want me to go. Me and Nick isn't really shown in the episodes or the bonus scenes. I think that maybe it wasn't filmed or something, but the two of us
I don't
kind of
know.
had a secret alliance that kind of similar to how you had one with Dylan. Me and Nick had like this sort of alliance where we were like, this is going to be ultra secret. Like no one in the game will know about this. No one in the game will ever.
But everybody knows that Sam Morris is talking to everybody in the game.
That is
That's not
true.
a secret.
Everyone did know that. Everyone was always saying that. But me and Nick, I don't think we're paired together very often when people would talk about who I was talking with. I mean, I guess they would pair me.
No, you wouldn't.
This overall blanket term of Tam talks to everyone.
Yeah.
But Nick was someone where people weren't saying like, oh, Sam and Nick are really close. They weren't
true.
really saying that, but we had at least enough of a relationship where he really was saying like, I don't want Sam to go. I would be okay with Adam or Lucy, but I don't want Sam.
Do you think that Bree would be good with getting rid of you?
That's what she says. I mean, we'll see, whether or not she is or whether we lose. But this, I feel like I was definitely worried about my position, seeing the tribe come together after Jesse combined them, because I really didn't know where I stood with Bree, who I had voted off of season 2. Really blindsided. Nick, who I had this alliance with, but also, I wasn't really in with Odawa. I also kind of didn't vote for him in season 2.
Yeah.
Right, you pissed him off a lot in season 2 because you when you voted. Yeah.
It was very
that stuff sticks. That stings.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And then there was Jackson, who I was very against, or definitely not with. And Sarah, who I had never talked to really at all. So I really didn't know where I stood with those people. I was kind of nervous. I think this is a good draw for Erin. I mean, she also has a relationship with Cooper, who she isn't with right now. And I think that I actually kind of think Erin and Megan really could have worked together had they've been in the same swap tribe, because even though we saw Megan not vote with Erin in the Dylan tribal, ultimately she did vote with Megan. Erin,
yeah, she's still on her way. She's teasing it, she's dipping her toes in the water.
I'm curious how Erin felt about Megan coming out of the Dylan tribal, because the way I saw it was like, okay, both of them are against me, so I don't know if they were still against each other or whether maybe Erin was mad that Megan wasn't willing to go to Rocks. I'm not really sure how they felt after that, but I mean, they were kind of paired into this group before. I kind of think they were fine with each other.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I mean, as soon as that tribal ended, it's like you, Lucy, and Adam all walk away together, and Megan is clearly left behind.
Yes. I mean, Megan very much. She had just flipped on us. It was clear to me that Megan didn't vote for Dylan because she wanted Dylan to go. She voted for Dylan because she didn't want to go to Rocks, and that was the only reason. That was purely the one reason. She didn't want to go to Rocks.
Absolutely.
She wanted me out of the game, and that was her goal. And she just didn't want to go to Rocks. So, I don't blame her for that at all. I think that was probably the best move at that point. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting dynamics for sure on both of the tribes.
Do you think? Do you keep up with Megan still? Do you think she's doing okay?
Yeah, a little bit. I texted Megan about. I was like, you have a lot of fans rooting for you. Like you're like the #1 fan favorite, I would say. And she's like very shocked about it. Like, she is like surprised that she has this many fans.
Is she watching?
I don't believe she is.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't know if you've watched season 4 either, to be honest.
Really?
But no, Megan she's very appreciative of the fan support, but also very shocked. She did not expect it.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
She's a main narrator this season.
Oh, Megan's a huge character.
yeah.
Mhm.
Huge character. Very good narrator. Lucy says Megan had balls, but she didn't keep it.
What's up with Lucy and her ball analogies? She gives
Well.
you balls. Megan already had them.
Yeah.
She didn't keep them. Oh, so did she give you
Oh,
Megan's balls? Is that what happened?
Man, speaking of Lucy, there was a really scathing confessional by Kevin in the bonus scenes about Lucy that was just that was awful.
Wait, what was
Yeah.
it?
I don't even remember. I know he called her, I think, a muskrat at the end, but he was
What?
saying like
Spewing
first she
crap.
was like a scrappa sorority girl, but now she like has no personality at all. Like she's just a
She definitely
boring-
has a personality.
Lucy has a
he was.
personality.
I don't want to even repeat what he said. It was
Mhm.
just so. It was, I think, over the top and out of line. I don't understand it.
Kevin was just on some shit this week. Like, he saw himself get voted off, and he was like, "I'm gonna be as evil as possible. I wasn't evil enough my first time somehow." I think that's what he
Yeah.
got out of it. Maybe
He
he
got
wanted
a
to work.
dose of the Sarah confessional like bait. You know.
Yes. Which, by the way, as much as we've talked about all this, I don't know if we've talked enough about how horrible a move this is for Kevin. Look. Okay, I understand he wants to save Megan, right? He says, I have this relationship with Megan. I see an opportunity to work with Megan and Jackson. Okay, sure. So the plans vote off Megan. I don't want to do that. He has all the power. If he's the one that's saying, I'm going to flip, he goes to Bailey and he says, I will flip, but I know that you're not going to want to do Emily, and that Cooper isn't going to want to do Leia.
Yeah.
But why is Kevin letting Odawa dictate who he flips on? He has all the power. He can say, I will flip, but only if it's on Leia. I will flip, but only if it's on Emily. He has all the power to flip.
Because he's a dumbass. That's why. That's simple.
He's losing an ally to gain an ally. He's like, okay, I can either choose whatever, Will or Megan. But why is he making this binary choice? Why can't he have both Will and Megan?
I don't know, because I feel like he said it himself. Like, what, epic betrayal, or is that what he said?
Does he want the betrayal? Does he want just?
Yeah, he wants the drama.
He wants the drama.
Yeah, he was like, that episode was so great this week. Let me rev up the popcorn because I'm going to have a really good one coming out in another 3 years.
Why couldn't he make it? Why couldn't the drama be that he betrays Bailey and keeps Will and Megan in the game?
That would be funny. That would be poetic. I don't know.
He could have done whatever he wanted to. He could have voted off probably any person on that tribe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not Cooper. Maybe he could have, though. I don't know. You only need, 4 or 5 votes on that tribe to get something done. And he has his 4 Sangria, potentially has Megan. He could have worked with the 3 Sangria and Megan, take out any Sangria. It's like he chooses the one that is the worst for him personally, but maybe it's just because it's the best, most villainous move.
I mean, would have been easier to get them against than Leia or Emily. So I feel like that's why. I mean,
if he says I'll flip it only if it's on Leia, what do you think that Bailey says? Do you think that Bailey goes with that, or do you think that she goes to Leia? She's like, by the way, Kevin's slipping on you. Just vote off.
Do you mean like he would only flip on Leia or Emily B?
Either one of them. Let's say he says, I will flip, but only if it's on, but I won't flip on Will. I'll flip on Leia or Emily.
I think it's less likely that it would have worked, but it still probably would have worked, but it's less likely than him flipping on me. I mean, it was like a sure thing with me.
Because I don't know, maybe Bailey just would have like refused to do it. Maybe Bailey or Cooper end up deciding, no, I'm going to keep my relationship with Emily or Leia over Kevin and just vote off Kevin.
Well, yeah, because maybe he does that, and then they come to us and get us to flip against Kevin.
Well, see, that's the thing is that like
Because
that's what happened, and then they didn't come to you guys. They're like, okay, let's go with Kevin and vote off Will because this is better for me.
because I don't know. I think maybe I was more of a target. I mean, Cooper was super excited. He says in a bonus scene, like, this is our only opportunity to get rid of Will. So I think at least Cooper was salivating at the idea of getting rid of me. And yeah, because of the extra difficulties in getting rid of Emily or Leia, it would have made it more difficult to get that to happen. And I don't know I'm sure it would have been really exciting to get Leia out because she was a big character and a big player, but I don't know.
I really think his best move would have been to get rid of Andrew, like the plan that you suggested. Because now Sangria has the majority, but Kevin also gets to keep Megan.
Yeah. It's true.
If his concern was, no, I want to flip because I don't want Megan to go. I want to keep this 4-person alliance with Jackson, Megan, and Aaron, then vote off Andrew. Then you also have Bailey. Now Bailey needs you. Now you have Megan. You still keep your alliance with Will and Sangria. I think Kevin would have been in a very, very good position if that had happened. If Andrew goes home.
But look, it's Kevin. He's erotic.
He is erotic. Yeah, he's erotic. That's right.
Exactly.
I'm not erratic. He's erratic. Jesus, I will never live this down. And once again, I'm sure this is right in the list of reasons that my girlfriend says I have a crush on Kevin. I'm calling him what did I say? He's an irrational, erotic douchebag. Jeez, what a statement.
What a statement. Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like nothing logical. Like, you can't really ask yourself questions like that with him.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. That's kind of how I feel about this. Like, sure, yeah, it would have been better for Kevin to vote out Andrew. That's why I told Kevin we should vote out Andrew.
Right.
And he just wanted to make a big splash and break my heart. I mean, he wanted to see my tears. Like, what the fuck is that? Salivating at my tears? Like, what are you, Eric Cartman? Give me a break. Like, who is this guy? Whatever. I mean, it's like we are cool. We squashed the beef. I feel like we're good. Like, I see him at the reunions and we're good. But still, watching this, I am kind of like, is this really you? Like, what the fuck is this? I don't get it. I mean, I was a crazy asshole and a big character when I would play, but I don't think I ever wanted to lick someone's tears. Like, I don't understand what this is.
It was very extreme, and that was, I think, a question that a lot of people are curious about. And you kind of answered it. It's like, are you and Kevin on good terms now?
Yeah, we're on good terms now for sure. Like, I mean, we don't really talk that much outside of us being at events where we get along pretty well and catch up, in person. But yeah, so we're good. But again, yeah, watching this, it does make me think, like, really? Like, what is it with you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up.
We just have the one last or final segment.
All right.
Discord questions.
Discord questions. That's fun.
Questions from the Discord. So we have some people. We do this every week. We ask people from the Discord if they have any questions for the guest, and one of them is here is this question here. Will's seasons seem to have more downs than ups. What does he consider the proudest moment of his Survivor career?
Will's season? Are they referring to season 3 or
I guess
5?
the seasons plural. What's your proudest moment of your career?
Oh, okay. I gotta think about this.
Good question.
Oh, geez, probably. I'd say, man, I have a lot of them. I guess I really had a lot of really highs in season 3. I liked forming the Holy Shit Alliance. Getting Emily Paddock in I mean, this is probably mostly her, but getting us together with Savu Savu and having this, plan to get out Chloe, and it being that was really tasty. That blind side of Chloe was one of the best things ever, honestly, because she was really the queen of the mountain. She really thought she had everything under her beautiful little toes in season 3. So it felt really good to blindside Chloe. And And then I guess by the time that we got out, then it was kind of becoming a downer because everyone was getting so sad and depressed about the season.
Yeah.
But winning individual immunity also at
Mhm.
final 6, I think, was
Oh yeah, that was a big
that
one.
that was really big. That felt so good because that was a marathon night. We had a challenge and then a tribal and then another challenge, and I won that. And it was right before Thanksgiving break in like
Mm.
2018. So going home to see my family with the necklace after
Aw.
that marathon night and knowing that I was going to be in the final 5, and really feeling like I had a good thing going with Devin and Dylan, and that all I had to do was just win another challenge or two, and I might actually have a chance to win the game. That felt really good, but then it
Awesome.
all slipped away.
It all slips away. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, quick note one. Would you think you would have fared better as an underclassman?
Phew. No, no, I don't think so. I think people always kind of thought I was like weird and old, but then like I think I had a good social game. I think I could
Hmm.
always get people to like me. And you wouldn't think so. Even if you watch the show, you still are gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's weird. We don't like him." But like, no, I could turn people around and get them on my side. And I think it was because I was a little bit older and had a bit more, I don't know, social experience, a bit more life. I think I
Yeah.
did well as a grad student.
Oh, I can see that. You and Dale both really had a way of like knowing how to connect with people and communicate with a lot of different kinds of people. And you saw it in
Yeah,
both of those seasons.
I think there were a couple of times where, probably mainly with Jessie, where I probably did seem like I was talking down to her too much, and that was a mistake. But other than that, really, I felt like being older, I don't know, I don't think it mattered that much, or
Mhm.
if anything, it helped me to have more experience in how to connect to people.
Mhm.
All right. Another one. Um, who's a player from any Michigan season you think you would have worked well with? I guess it would
Um,
probably be from someone that wasn't on All Stars.
yeah, I feel like there really aren't too many that I can
Yeah.
think of. Oh, I know. I would have loved to work with Brittany Silverman. I think that I would,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm.
I would have loved the opportunity to work with her.
Why?
I don't know. I just think we kind of have similar personalities.
Okay.
I feel like I remember when she was talking about Liz and everyone being in Liz's orbit. Like, I can just imagine that if we had been having a conversation about Liz, I just feel like we would have seen the same perspective on that.
Okay.
Um, and I don't know. I just feel like we would have been really good at bouncing ideas off of. I kind of like that she was. I don't want to say she was paranoid, but didn't she have like a little like kind of flavor of paranoia to her,
Yeah.
She
somewhat?
did. She had like a
Yeah.
whiteboard too, where she would draw people's names and diagrams.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
Well, I would have
yeah.
loved to see this duo.
I
I
would have
would love
loved
to see
running.
that.
I feel like we would have like. I feel like she's the kind of person where we would have been like talking for a long time, running all kinds of scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Running
Yeah,
the scenarios. Yep. Yep.
Strategy
Um.
chemistry. It's a thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then what other another question? I guess we got kind of it's just about Survivor Maryland and whether you knew it existed or considered applying. You kind of already answered
We
that,
already
right?
talked about that. Yeah.
yeah. I am. Yeah, I knew it was a thing. In my head, it was the equivalent of joining the Quidditch club. I didn't know that it was a. I didn't know that it was a TV show being edited, or that the quality would be what it was. I wasn't quite the super fan of. I was a lifelong Survivor fan, but I didn't become a true super fan of Survivor until I went to grad school. My first year at Michigan, I watched 30 seasons of Survivor that year, and that, like,
One
Dang.
year.
rewatched from the beginning the whole way through that year.
Yeah.
And that speaking of that, this actually final question is about CBS Survivor.
Yeah.
Um, who's your favorite player from the CBS series?
Oh man.
There's so many.
No, it's more like the answers that I will give are so controversial. I love Russell Hantz. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If he played 10 years later than he did, I think it would have been a lot different. Like, he is a game changer. He changed Survivor in so many ways, and I don't appreciate his attitude in maybe the first episode of Samoa. I think some of the comments he made were despicable, and I didn't like that. But overall, I really appreciate Russell as a Survivor player. And other than him, I like Randy a lot from Gabon,
Randy.
and I like James Miller from Survivor Palau. You know, my stuff. Yeah,
Wait, James
that guy.
Miller.
It's a deep dig, but the deep dive. But this guy, James Miller, the
Oh,
Oracle of Oolong. Every single thing that ever comes out of this man's mouth is wrong.
I remember
Always.
him. Yeah.
And he's such an optimist. He's like, you know, we're gonna win some matches. We just didn't do it today. You know, something about his just
Aw.
stupid optimism is so funny. I got a
Love
background. I happen to be an expert in nuts. You know, I don't know. Something about him really always cracked me up.
I love that. I love that. I love the
Those are great answers.
evolutionist strategy reference.
Yeah, that's me. You know, if you want the ultimate Survivor player, if I get cast on CBS, I want you to take James Miller, Randy, and Russell Hantz, and a bit of Tony, and mix them all up
Okay.
together. And
Oh my
that's who
God.
I want to be.
Sounds like pure chaos in the best way. And
So
entertainment.
funny. I mean, Tony won twice.
Yeah,
And Russell made it to the end twice.
he did. Everybody hated his guts. I've been there,
Yeah, but he
not
still
to
made
that
it.
extent.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Hope you have a great rest of the week.
Yes. Yes. Are you in California?
Yes, I'm in San Diego.
Okay, so we got two Pacific timers right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jack is also on
Okay.
Pacific time now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like we got to have Surf Trip 2023
Oh, 100%.
coming up
I've
this
actually
summer.
never been surfing, but
Really?
You're in
Me neither.
San Diego.
I know.
There. Come on.
The water's
Yes,
cold
sir.
here. I think I'm taking a trip to Hawaii, and I think I'm gonna try there because the water's warm there at least.
Okay, so you can pick up those skills and then you'll teach
Exactly.
all of us.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Surf trip.
Surf trip happening.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
ya. And there goes Will. What a guy. What a guy.
What a guy. Rolling down the double black diamonds.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Forever icon.
What an icon. Dr. Aerospace himself.
So what place is this?
This is 17. I mean, he says in the
17th
episode,
place.
like, is it really going to be Willie, the All-Star, out at 17? It is. 17th place. Final thoughts, eulogy on Will Bentz.
Will is the king of squashing beef.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I really like Will's game in All Stars. I mean, I feel like we're saying this about a lot of people, but like, I feel like he really did learn from his mistakes. Will was able to get past his beef. He's had a lot of relationships on not only on his tribe but on other tribes too. And I mean, ultimately, it was just his relationship with Kevin that ended up being the downfall, and that's hard to see because over and over, people keep telling him, "Will, don't trust Kevin. Don't trust Kevin." And he really wanted to believe Kevin. He really wanted to trust Kevin. And, sadly, Kevin acted not really in his best interests, but for the best interest of TV. And it's kind of tragic that like Will and Ben both kind of go out in their second seasons by being like backstabbed by their closest ally. But it's just what happens. And it's a tragic ending for Will. Really sad to see. I was sad in the moment. I'm still sad watching it back now, but I think that Will had a great, entertaining run on Survivor Michigan, and glad to see him on this season, at least for 4 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, you summed that up perfectly. Now
So
let's rank.
17th place. We will place Will on the 17th place Pantheon. We got some
Wait.
icons here.
I just realized season 4 only had 16 people.
Yeah,
So it's really only against seasons 1 to 3, right?
exactly. Yep. We're just ranking him against number 1. We have Daniel Stanton, season 2.
Okay, Daniel.
People. And the other person that Kevin betrayed is also 17th place. How about
Whoa.
that? If Daniel, we have Jonathan from season 1, number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, we have Emily Levy from season 3.
Interesting. Not a very like standout. No, well, I don't want to say standout, but not a very big like.
Not a lot of big characters.
Yeah, not a big character bunch.
I mean, to be fair, these are all people who are voted off second in their season.
Yeah, versus
Didn't
like
have a
an
ton of
all-star. Yeah.
I will say though, Emily Levy and Jonathan, I feel pretty confident putting Will ahead of both of them without much discussion. They were never really and had any power in the original tribes. And just kind of
I put him in front of Daniel too for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's for sure. It's worth at least a little discussion because the two of them had a very similar situation where they were both in power on their tribe. They both had allies in other tribes. Daniel had Sarah Avery, Will in this kind of swap scenario had other connections, and both of them were backstabbed by Kevin for reasons that didn't completely make sense. Daniel was backstabbed because Kevin was threatened by his relationship with Sarah Avery and wanted Sarah to be closer to him, versus Will was backstabbed, I guess, so Kevin can work with Megan and Bailey. But both of them were backstabbed. I guess, like, what's an argument for Will over Daniel?
Well, who else was Daniel really talking to besides Sarah? I guess I don't really remember his game that much. I don't think we saw much of it.
It was so early.
Will had way more connections and was like putting way more effort into talking to everyone.
That's true. I mean, he also had more time in this game than Daniel did in season 2. But I mean, even in week 2, Will was like so insulated in an original Sangria to where he was never going to get voted off on that tribe. And he really got voted off because of this weird swap tribe, versus Daniel didn't have enough connections on his original tribe to get saved. Like, he didn't really have people going to bat for him like Mike or Nick, whereas Will had a lot of people willing to go to bat for him.
Exactly. No, I agree. And like, he spent all that time making the connection with Sarah A, but then he never got to even work with her. He like never even got to that point.
Yeah.
Like, he should have focused more on his own tribe initially, I think. But
yeah.
I think Will blows everyone out of the water here.
I think that's definitely true. It's fun for the sake of discussion, but I don't even think it's close. I think Will's the best 17th placer by far. Now, the one last question here, though, and this is that Jack introduced, is how do we rank Will in season 5 versus Will in season 2 or season 3?
I mean, Will in season 3 had more power. He made it farther. He was more of a villain.
I almost think that Will played a better game in season 5. This is a hot take.
Because season 3, I didn't say season 3 played better. I was just stating that he got further, but he made more enemies.
He did.
He burned more bridges. He was more ruthless. I think if Will had made it past this one episode, though, he could have been a better player this season in the long run.
I feel like if he makes it past here, Will could go really far in All-Stars.
Well, he's just so good at like putting fires out, which is a huge skill to have.
Yeah, he really did a good job in this one, and like he almost got past it. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like in season 3, I guess it is true he got kind of unlucky with the way the demerge worked out and like losing Emily P and Eliza with the idol and everything. But he did, I guess, I don't know, he did have more power like at the merge and he did make it further. But like, I feel like this time, like, I almost want to say like I really liked how he played these first 4 weeks. Like, I really feel like Will played almost flawlessly the first 4 weeks, other than trusting Kevin too much.
Yeah. I guess I also don't really remember season 3 as much.
Yeah.
Like season 5 is more top of mind.
We can have Jack maybe cast the tie-breaking vote if we want to.
You think so? You say season 5, I say season.
Yeah, if you say season 3, if you feel strongly, if that's your vote, we could have a tie. We could have a Jack break the tie next time. I don't know. I could be convinced. I could still be convinced of season 3. A part of me wants to say I like season 5 Will better.
Well, I think season 5 Will played better, but got more unlucky. I think he was a better player.
Well, that's like the classic. Like if you simulate season 5 Will 100 times, you simulate season 3 Will 100 times.
Season 3 Will could flame out earlier.
I feel like season 5 Will in the long run is gonna get further most times, like because he's gonna, No,
that's true.
He's not gonna get screwed over by Kevin every time. There's gonna be a scenario where he gets swapped differently or something like that, and or maybe there's different people that aren't willing to work with Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah, but if season 3 Will doesn't start on the tribe Tormenta, it might not have gotten as toxic. I don't know.
That's true.
He was definitely more ruthless his first time around.
He was.
But that also helped him.
I don't know if that's better. It helped him in some ways, but it also hurt him in some ways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, because he wasn't as ruthless this time around, he didn't even make it that far.
That's true. I don't know if I would say that's because he wasn't ruthless enough, though. I mean, maybe why?
Yeah.
I feel like he acted in his best interest in just about every scenario. It's really hard to predict what Kevin will do, and I guess that's why you don't work with him. But
yeah,
even then, we hadn't seen this version of Kevin. Maybe it does seem realistic that maybe Kevin's did turn over a new leaf and he's gonna play differently this time.
I don't know. Maybe he was too trusting on the season, though.
He's too trusting of Kevin.
There was no reason really to trust. Everyone was telling him not to trust Kevin.
He was. I guess that was his mistake. That really was his mistake. You want to rate season 3?
I mean, it's honestly very even to me. I don't think he played any worse his second season. It was just very different.
Should we toss this one to the fan vote on Twitter?
Yeah, I think I want to lean a little more towards season 3.
Yeah, because I feel I'm very 50-50. I almost got convinced to go back to season 3, but I kind of still want to lean a little bit towards season 5.
I'll lean a little more towards season 3.
Yeah.
And we'll see what other people think.
We'll see what the fans say about this one.
I'm actually very curious. This one's tough.
I am too.
Is it going to be... It's just hard because the placement was so different, but and I think that kind of skews it a little bit for me.
I feel that. I know. Yeah, I guess it depends what the ranking really is. It's just
I know
which game do you think was the better game? And I guess you could say 5th place is better placement than 17th place, but I liked Will's game this time better. I feel like Will had a very good game.
But he made a really big mistake by trusting Kevin.
That's definitely true. But it's difficult because returning seasons, he had to take past Kevin behavior into account in his decision. Because normally a decision to trust someone to trust Kevin wouldn't be as bad, but that's only if you aren't considering this as Kevin and you already know what Kevin did in the past. So I don't know.
Yeah. Leave it up to the fans.
I'll leave it up.
And Jack. We'll have to text Jack.
Yes.
I'll text him right now.
And with that, we're 4 episodes done.
Wow. Okay, fun fact. The next episode is actually less than an hour, which is the first time this is happening. It's finally a normal length.
Wow. Normal length episodes. Who knew that would exist?
We don't have to dedicate our whole half of a day to this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a concept.
After this next episode, we're going to be a third of the way done.
Wow.
1/3. Tomorrow will be a third of the way. That's crazy. It's flying by, isn't it?
Wait, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
We're on 16th, though. How is that a third? Oh, I guess because you end with 5.
I think there's 15 episodes.
Because the final episode usually has the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
There's 15 episodes. So after tomorrow, we'll be 5 out of 15.
Wow. Flying by.
Just like Will down the double black diamond. Flying by. Or Will on the rocket ship or whatever it is.
He's just always flying. What can we say?
Yeah.
Too bad he couldn't fly his way to the finale this time, but he still did a good job.
you know, if you're feeling nostalgic for some Will, you know, go and rewatch season 3. You'll see plenty of Will.
Plenty of Will. Every single episode, actually.
Exactly. All right.
With that, we're signing off.
Signing off. Enjoy your Uncrustable. And...
I already ate it. I'm glad you clocked it as an Uncrustable.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Okay. Well, great talking, and we will be back with Keep Your Torch Lit next week.
And hopefully Jack will be back from the market.
We'll see. See if he gets back from the market. Hopefully he does. Okay. Bye, everybody.